Welcome to this explainer. Okay, I want you to start by just, imagining standing outside on a clear night and looking up at the sky. Thousands of stars shining above you, scattered right across the darkness like tiny diamonds. It feels absolutely enormous, doesn't it?
But what if I told you that what you're seeing up there is really only a tiny glimpse of the true scale of the universe? It's so easy to look up and think we're seeing the whole picture, but reality is vastly more expansive, complex, and honestly mind-boggling than our eyes can even begin to process.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We'll be covering our tiny cosmic neighborhood, the vastness of galaxies, time travel through light, the life of stars, and finally, the invisible universe. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Our tiny cosmic neighborhood.
Our journey begins right here on Earth. Now, it feels huge to us, obviously, but in the grand scale of the cosmos, it's incredibly small. Think of it this way. If our sun were the size of a standard front door, our entire world would just be the size of a tiny coin. That really kind of puts our daily problems into perspective, doesn't it?
That giant front door, our sun, is the center of our solar system family. It travels through space, accompanied by comets, asteroids, moons, and exactly 8 planets. And these 8 planets are all completely unique. We've got rocky worlds like Earth and Mars, and we have giant planets made mostly of gas like Jupiter and Saturn.
Section 2. The vastness of galaxies.
Zooming out from our solar system, we enter the Milky Way galaxy, which contains hundreds of billions of stars. It is so incredibly vast that if you could somehow travel at the speed of a jet aircraft, it would literally take you millions of years just across from one side to the other.
And to put that mind-boggling scale into perspective, the Milky Way is only one galaxy among billions. Scientists actually estimate that the observable universe contains more individual galaxies than there are grains of sand on all the beaches of Earth combined. Just take a second to picture every beach, every single grain of sand, and then realize there are more galaxies out there than that. It's wild. Knowing that each of those billions of galaxies contains millions, billions, or even trillions of stars, and that planets orbit a lot of those stars, it naturally raises one of the biggest questions humanity has ever asked. Are we alone? Well, we haven't found definitive evidence of alien life yet, but the sheer numbers are pretty compelling. Scientists have discovered thousands of exoplanets outside our solar system, and they come in all shapes and sizes, from gas giants way larger than Jupiter to rocky planets similar to Earth. Crucially, a few of these orbit their stars at just the right distance for liquid water, strongly suggesting that life absolutely could exist elsewhere.
Section 3. Time travel through light.
To even begin to understand distances this massive, we can't really use miles or kilometers. We have to use a light year. And this all starts with the staggering speed of light, which travels at about 300,000 kilometers every single second. To give that some context, in just 1 second, light could travel all the way around the Earth more than 7 times. So the crucial point here is this. Even traveling at that unbelievable speed, light from the absolute nearest star beyond our sun still takes more than 4 years to reach us. That is how utterly empty and vast the space between stars truly is. And this leads to a really fascinating reality. When we look into space, we are literally looking back in time. The light from distant stars and galaxies has traveled for years, centuries, or even billions of years before finally hitting our eyes. Some of the galaxies we observe today through our telescopes appear to us exactly as they were when dinosaurs hadn't even existed yet on Earth. Looking deeper into space is genuinely like reading the universe's history book.
Section 4. The life of stars. Stars are super dynamic. They're born inside these giant clouds of gas and dust called nebulae. Over millions of years, gravity pulls this material together until a new star literally sparks to life. During their active lifespan, they're basically giant spheres of hot gas powered by nuclear fusion. And as they age, well, smaller ones cool down while massive stars can explode in spectacular supernovas that briefly outshine entire galaxies. Without these dramatic life cycles, life as we know it simply wouldn't exist.
Why? Because deep inside their cores, enormous amounts of energy produce the very building blocks of our reality. The elements created inside stars are the building blocks of planets, oceans, and living things. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, and the oxygen you're breathing right now, all of that was forged inside the cores of ancient stars billions of years ago.
Take a moment to think about how deeply connected you are to the cosmos right now. In a very real sense, we are made of stardust. You literally carry the history of the universe inside your very cells.
Section 5. The Invisible Universe. Now, let's dive into the mysteries that still totally puzzle scientists today, starting with black holes. These form when extremely massive stars collapse under their own gravity at the end of their lives. The gravity becomes so intensely strong that nothing, not even light itself, can escape. In fact, right at the center of our very own Milky Way galaxy lies a supermassive black hole that is millions of times greater than our Sun.
But perhaps the greatest mystery of all is how little we actually know. Everything we can see, stars, planets, galaxies, clouds of gas, all of it makes up only a tiny fraction of the cosmos. Scientists believe the vast majority of the universe consists of completely invisible substances known as dark matter and dark energy.
We can't observe dark matter or dark energy directly, but we know they're there because of their profound effect on galaxies and, most importantly, the expansion of space. One of the most surprising discoveries in modern astronomy is that the universe isn't static. It is actively expanding. Galaxies are continuously moving away from one another, and the distance between them is constantly growing. Tracing this expansion backwards, scientists calculate it all began around 13.8 billion years ago in an event known as the Big Bang. But here's the catch. It wasn't an explosion in space, like a firework. It was the sudden expansion of space itself. Over billions of years, galaxies formed, and the space between them just kept stretching, leading us right to the present day, where the universe continues to expand faster and faster into the dark. Which brings us to our final thought. If the vast majority of our continuously expanding universe is completely invisible to us, what other secrets are hiding in the dark? As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to step outside tonight. Look up at the night sky, look past those tiny diamonds of light, and just wonder about the enormous, invisible history book we are all just a tiny, stardust-filled part of. Thanks for joining me on this journey, and keep looking up.